Well, good evening, folks. It's me again, Isaac David Brigmond, with Alone in the Dark with Isaac David Brigmond. Well, I got to tell you something. Okay. I have noticed that. Okay, I have a neighbor who basically he was planting some flowers and decided that I had a pot, and he put some in it. Well, after I found out, I was glad of it. Matter of fact, I was pretty proud of it. And I decided every time I would turn around, since this was on my back porch, I would go outside and check on it. Well, I kept doing this, making sure I took care of the plant and everything. Next thing I know, one day I go out, the whole pot's gone. Someone stole my pot. And I'm going to ask around more Monday, because everybody I could ask around right now is already, doing other things. Anyhow, the point is, the person that done it, if the only thing wrong with them was that they were a thief, but they were okay to talk to, and they wanted to get a potted plant, I'd have said, if they'd asked me, how can I help them? I'd have said, well, I'll do what I can. The point is, I don't get the thing about whoever done it, take a potted plant away from somebody, but leave everything else they got alone. I think sometimes some people do things like that because they're mad at you for what you don't do to them, so they do this to you to prove a point. And to me, the point was that they didn't like what I stood for, which basically means, now you might think, any other problems I've had recently that I may have spoke of, do I think that any of those problems could have had something to do with the plant? I don't know. All I know, friends and family, is that it don't make no sense why somebody would do this. They just take a plant, don't care about nothing, and just go off with it like that. I mean, God didn't say, thou shalt steal from your neighbor. And I didn't say he done it. I'm saying somebody that we don't know of who might be a neighbor could have done it. Because I trust him. And he trusts me. Because he knows the same about me as I know about him. I wouldn't steal from him. If I wanted to steal from him, there's a lot of things I could have just took if I wanted to. But I don't want to because I have no desire to. So when I say neighbor, I'm talking about somebody. Could be a house way, way far away from us, and they could have done it. And then, I don't mean way far. I'm talking about far enough where they could walk a couple of feet or miles and be right there and stole it. You have to be careful when you say things, because you say the word neighbor and then somebody say, oh, you think someone next door? No, not that next door. I'm talking about like so many miles down your road. That kind of neighbor. Your neighbor that lives so far they could bump into you. No, not that neighbor. Or could have wrecked into you. Not that neighbor. I'm talking about the one so many miles down your road. Because sometimes the guy or girl that lives so close to you, they could have bumped into you. A lot of them, if you spend enough time doing things for them and they done for you back and forth, I don't see a problem with it. The neighbors I have a problem with is those that hide in bushes and come out and surprise you. Now you say, has that happened to you physically? Well, you know what I mean. I mean the people that ain't that far away from you that you don't know much about. You don't want to say they're going to do something, but don't you know that you and the neighbors that you can trust, y'all have to be looking at yourselves like, I wonder what some people down the road could do to you. I don't know. But if you're a close neighbor, I'm not talking about you. If you're a distant neighbor, prove yourself to be a person that won't do that to me. Close neighbor, I know you well enough to know you wouldn't do it. But far away neighbor, I don't know too well. So that's what I'm going at. And I'm not going to say anybody's good or bad. I'm just going to say, I don't know. And that drives me crazy to think I don't know and you don't know. And I ask questions to people that have problems with me, like that kind of people, and a lot of them will say, nope, they didn't do it, or they didn't have nothing to do with it. But a lot of them will say things to you that make you think, well, if they didn't do it, why are they telling me all about this mess that they know about? They know about. They know about. Excuse me, I've been having some sinus issues lately, but I don't know. If you don't know something, don't talk about something you don't know about like you know it personally. Because it makes you look suspicious when you say, you know, hey, here's something I know about near you. Then, the way you said it makes you think, well, how'd you know that if you ain't nowhere near me? Then, they come up with some reasons like, they got their ways. Don't you think that if you're going to talk that way to somebody, it makes you look suspicious of anything? Of course. But, oh, no, you ain't going to say that. You're going to be the one that says, I didn't say that or do that to you because, well, you may not have and you may have. But because you look suspicious on the things you said you do know something about, you can't tell nothing no more. And I'm just saying, if you've helped somebody out and they've helped you out, and y'all have done this for a pretty good while, no matter how many days, weeks, months, or years, that's the person you ain't got to worry about so much. It's the one you don't know nothing about, and you never did know anything about them, and you wonder, well, maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but if somebody has got some idea of what happened to me, would you please tell me? I know y'all probably don't probably don't have, I meant to say, internet, but at least you people that do have it will know how I feel. That's the point I'm getting at. And it don't make no sense to do that. Would you do that to me if you knew me? Well, it depends on who you are. If you don't like me, you probably would. If you have feelings for me, I guess you'd be like, no, I wouldn't do that to you. And I believe you, too. Because you kind-hearted men and women wouldn't do that. And I love this world. And I love the way I live in this world to a certain extent. Because, of course, if I don't mess with you no more after I've done mess with you so many times, it's not exactly anything to do with what you think's the obvious. It's just usually maybe I found something within the situation between us that just didn't work out. And I hate doing that because it makes me look like I'm basing it on the thing you think I'm basing it on when I'm not. It's not your looks. It's just maybe a comfort issue. I didn't feel comfortable around you because you basically said or done something that just didn't feel right. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes. If you don't like that situation, tell me about it, and I'll try to grow some guts and be honest with you people and just tell you what I think. But it's scary to do it because I don't want y'all mad at me for something like that. But anyhow, I better let y'all go or I'll be spoke too much. But I do love you people, but some of y'all make me feel like, oh, good gracious. And some, it's like, come back and talk to me some more. Wish you would. Some of y'all got issues with me you won't even speak of. And if you just tell me, I'd be able to say what I think of it. But y'all too scared to say that to anybody for that matter. But I'll let you go and I'll speak to y'all later. And please, people, don't do stuff like this to anybody. If you got a desire to rob from someone, do something. Figure out some way to feel that desire without having to really do it. Even if it's make-believe robbery. If that'll make you feel better. But just don't do it for real because that junk is stupid. It's not right. It don't make no sense and God ain't going to have it. You just basically, when you do stuff like that, you basically told God you want to go to hell. Because you don't want to go to heaven if you're going to do that stuff. I mean, people that do it and don't tell you about it, what does that prove? I don't know. But I'll talk to y'all later and hope everything works out for y'all and hope you have a good weekend. Have a nice day and bye now.